Do you ever feel hopeless? Do you ever feel like a situation you're in is just too hard to overcome, that the circumstances around you are more than you can actually bear? Welcome to Meant to Live, the podcast where we talk about being healthy and alive in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit. I'm Nathan. I'm running solo today. Paolo's not able to join us. Today, I want to talk to you about hard things. Remember back when I was first diagnosed with cancer, actually. That was a really hard thing. I remember getting the call from the doctor and she told me the diagnosis, she told me the news, and I knew I had to tell my wife. But I was absolutely sick to my stomach. Literally, I was throwing up. I didn't want to tell her. Finally, the day came, probably 4 or 5 days later, that I sat down and explained to her what was actually going on. That was a really hard thing. That was something I didn't want to do. It was something that pained me. It made me physically sick. It made my mind anguish. It made my spirit grieve and be sad. And I look back now and I go, wow, I've come so far. The conversations, the doors, the levels that I've gone with my wife since then have been so much deeper because we worked through a really hard thing together. And I think sometimes I hear people go, this is so hard. Why is it so hard? I can't handle this. I can't do this. I can't do that. But the truth is that your whole life up to the point that you're at now, all the little micro hard things and the big hard things that you've done have set you up to actually succeed with what's ahead of you and where you're going. But I think more often than not, what we actually do is forget our past. We forget our history. And when we don't remember where we've come from, and we don't remember the journeys that we've been through, facing the obstacles in front of us becomes really, really hard. Really hard. Because we don't remember the foundation that we've built. We don't remember the history and the muscles that we've developed in our life that allow us to face the next challenge ahead of us. I'm gonna go back again. When I was first airlifted down to San Francisco, on the edge of life and death, before we knew about the cancer, I remember sitting in the hospital and the doctors didn't know if I was gonna live or die. I had reassured my wife, hoping I was gonna live, declaring I was gonna live, telling her I'm gonna live, but not actually knowing. I sat in my hospital bed looking out the window over San Francisco, and I felt like God spoke to me, Joshua 3, and I opened my Bible and I read it. And I'm going to give you the summary of what the scripture is. So you have the children of Israel have left Egypt and they're about to cross into the promised land. God speaks to Joshua and says, get ready, sanctify yourselves, offer a sacrifice to purify the camp, and tomorrow I'm going to do miracle wonders. He doesn't say what he's going to do. God doesn't say, I'm going to split the sea, I'm going to stop the river, you're going to cross through. He doesn't say that at all. He says, be ready and expect a miracle. Now, the children of Israel have seen miracle after miracle all the way to this point. But what really stood out was Joshua obeyed God. They go the next day, they end up crossing over the Jordan because the water stops, they cross on dry land. But they don't forget it. God says to Joshua, have somebody from every single tribe pick up a stone, a big stone from the middle of the river, carry it across, and build a monument on the other side. So you always remember what God did for you. So your children remember what God did for you. So your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren for generations will remember the miracles that God did in your life, the hardship that you overcame so that you can move forward to new levels. We're not meant to stay at one level in life. That would suck and be disappointing. You would never fulfill what you were created for if you never rose to new challenges and new heights in your life. And so I sat on the edge of my hospital bed looking out over San Francisco, reading that and believing that God has promised me that I'm going to see miracles in my life, that no matter what comes, however hard it is, I can do it, I can overcome. I have a history of God being with me and being able to advance and grow and do bigger and better things. I actually went back after and I got a tattoo on my arm that summarizes what God spoke, because for me, that was putting rocks on the other side of the river. That was building a monument. So when I have hard times and I doubt in my mind, and my mind says, this is insane, what are you doing? I look at my arm and I go, no, I have to be ready, because God will do miracle wonders in and around me. That was my monument, my rock. Remember that hard thing. So when another hard thing comes, I know God is faithful. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm capable of doing more than I thought I possibly could do. And I think there's a lot of people actually who are watching this, who are listening to this, seeing these clips. You're facing hard things. You're facing things that are not easy. You're facing things that you don't want to face. But you need to know and you need to remember that you're not alone, that you were not created to fail. You were not created for misery. You were created to overcome. God made you capable. God made you able. You can face hard things head on. You can conquer hard things. You are meant to be victorious. You are not meant to be a loser. When we stop living our lives pushing forward, when we stop advancing, then we are actually stopping living. Our minds and our bodies need challenges. They need hard things in our lives. It's actually a scientific fact. It's amazing how much the Bible lines up with science, but we don't always look at it. If you look at what happens to your brain and what happens to your body when you face a hard challenge and you overcome that hard challenge, your mind uses parts that aren't normally used when things are easy. Your mind releases dopamine hits that bring joy and life to your body. I think often of people who go and climb mountains, and you say, why would they do that? Why would they go and challenge themselves to get to these heights? I know why. Because living a flat, boring life is not living for them. They know that they're destined to do more, and for them, it's climbing a mountain. For you, it can be totally different. For you, it might be racing cars. For you, it might be running a marathon. That might be a hard thing. For you, it might be showing up at work and doing your absolute best that you can do. Because we face something hard doesn't mean that we can't be excellent. It doesn't mean we can't overcome. Don't mail it in because something's hard. Rise up to the challenge. That's who you're meant to be. That's who you were created to be. Someone who is victorious. I'm going to read for you. It's actually a quite common scripture out of the Bible. This is in Philippians 4:13. It says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that I can do all things can also be translated not just do, but I can master all things. We don't master things when it's easy. People go to the gym and work out to get muscles. Look at Paulo, strong dude. He goes to the gym like every single day. Why? Because he pushes his body. He wants to be stronger. He wants to grow. And that adversity, when he lifts weights on his muscles, causes him to grow. In life, in our body, in our mind, in our spirit, if there's no adversity, we're not growing. So don't expect an easy life and success. Those two things don't go together. To be successful, you're going to have challenges. It doesn't mean bad. It means challenges. Don't give up. Press on, move forward. You are never alone. God is always on your side, and you were meant to overcome, and you're meant to be victorious. Most of all, don't forget the history that you have. Don't forget the experience that you have. How many athletes have I heard talk about, I was in the race, I was running, it hurt so bad, I couldn't go on, but I remembered the training I did, what I was capable of. And I know that was something for me personally. When I ran my first triathlon, it was not easy. But I thought the whole time, I can do this. I've trained for this. I've prepared for this. I know what I'm capable of, and I can push farther. And that's how I finished it. That and my family cheering for me Why? Because we can't do things alone. We're not meant to do things alone. So if you're going through something hard and you have challenges, talk to family and friends, bring them on board. It's a journey you can do together. You can overcome together, you can celebrate together, you can grow and live together. That's it for tonight. Paulo, miss you. This is the Meant to Live podcast. If you like this, please share, subscribe. Hope you're blessed and growing out of this. Have a great day.